Hello and welcome to Friday. As you can see behind me, Spencer's keen to get down the allotment. It's taken us a while to get down. We had some rain this morning and it's been a bit bitty this week getting there, you know, just a minimal watering, taking care of things, carrying things from the house into the greenhouse and back again because it's been cold. So I'm really hoping that when I take my tomatoes, today is the day, I'm going to take my tomato plants that have really been hardened off a lot, but I'm going to commit to leaving them, sorry, a big lorry going past, commit to leaving them in the greenhouses at the allotment overnight. And I have got a few of the tiny Tims, or tumbling Toms, I always call them tiny Tims, tumbling Toms down there, and they have sort of stunted a little bit. But there's promise of over 10 degrees coming up. I think that's 59, I think 10 degrees, maybe it's 49. Yeah, 49 Fahrenheit coming up this weekend. And so as I'm running out of space and I really need to put on my pepper plants and my chili plants, I'm going to take a chance, maybe cover them over with a bit of a fleece for tonight and take it off tomorrow. Just so we can just start the process of moving them down to the allotment. So I'm just starting to fill up my little trolley so we can walk down there. That gives Spencer a little walk as well, doesn't it, Spenny? Yeah, Spenny have a little walk as well. And I'm using a mixture of this. I've heard about this. It's okay, Rocket Grow. Been using the Silver Grow. So I'm going to mix it up. This was on offer at my garden centre, 2 for £14, and so I figured just give them a good start. Spend all this time prepping them from you know, just germinating the seeds over the early winter, and now to mature plants, just give them some good compost so that they do well. So from the home greenhouse, you can see that we're just stacked out in here. I bought 2 slightly dwindling trays of peppers back from my parents' house, and they had them on the window. They hadn't had enough light. I think they've been overwatered a little bit, but they're going to have a few. I will keep these ones here so I can look after them. None of the peppers or aubergines are going to go to the greenhouse. I'll just take a quick look at the aubergines. They're fine as long as I don't leave them out overnight. I think they are a bit more tender than anything else. Must put on these celeriac as well. Christ, I should take those down. I can take them in the trolley. Look, oh, they really need to go out, and they're big enough. Really, they shouldn't get too attacked. But ooh, they've been sat in a bit of water in this tray, so they're not too bad. But yeah, celeriac really needs to go out. So that's one thing. Let's just take the tomatoes first. So where should we start? Start with this tray. And you know, they've been potted on. Most of these have been potted on. They're a mixture of Costa Luto and the Crimson Crush, mostly the big ones. And then I've got some cherries as well. So as you can see, we're well stacked up. And we're just going to drag the trolley down the lane to the allotment. It's only a 4-minute walk, but it's a bit lumpy bumpy, so I'm just going to take it easy for a moment. Yeah, so we've made it to the top of the lane, and the allotments are just down beyond this gateway here. But luckily for me, my lovely friend Luke always leaves me when he's passing. He's landscaper and gardener, so he always leaves me a lovely bag of whatever goodies. Oh my goodness, it's so hot already. Like yesterday he messaged me to say he dropped off a bag. So this is just to top up my compost heap. I'm not going to take it down today, but I will do it over the weekend. So yeah, when you've got 5 bays of compost, 5 bays for 4 compost to fill up, it's always good to have a friend who can bring some extra, especially when you give away so much produce from your garden. You know, just find that all the carbon stuff is going out, and it's really hard to make enough for the autumn spread. Now, what I forgot to mention is that quite successfully these tomato plants here have been in the greenhouse now for a week, and I've put them in this ramshackle polycarbonate greenhouse because, from my estimation, I think it's warmer than the fully glass one. The fully glass one is also in a more exposed position, and we have had, you know, quite cooling northerly winds, and so that may have something to do with it as well. So we're all in medium-sized pots. You know, this is probably, I don't know, 1 litre or something pots, but yeah, they look to me like really have grown since the last time I came here, which was the day before yesterday. I didn't even check on them yesterday. So yeah, from that point, I'm just going to pot on and fill up this greenhouse with my tomatoes. And it's a bit easier to cover with a fleece here as well, because I've got a little bit of a framework, and I can just, you know, dangle it over the top if I feel like I need to, if the temperatures cool down again. So now we're in the new plot, and no, still haven't done anything with this little area here, but we will get round to it. I may even plant the celeriac in this area here, because it wasn't here last year. Garlic's doing okay. Little update on the onions. So I planted all of the shallots that I have along the front edge of this border here, so I've still got plenty of space here to grow my squash plants and courgettes and things like that will be coming out, you know, in the next sort of month or two. Cabbages and Calibris look like they have survived so far. Some of them are actually making some new leaves, so yeah, they're coming on okay. This net was very successful. This is the bigger net. I don't know who the manufacturer is, but it's the 3 meter wide one, and it's a finer net, whereas this one is a much tougher net, but I think it's either 2 or 2.5 meters wide, and it's not quite wide enough. Well, it's okay to keep the wind off now, but it will not keep the butterflies out. So I've bought another one of those, which I will put on at some point. I will get back to doing that as well. Anyway, where were we? Back to the tomatoes. So just had a little water in the greenhouse here. This is the glass greenhouse that I put up earlier this year, a couple of months ago. We've had several pickings off of all the crops in here, just a bit of an update on how those are doing. Something's come in here, something's found its way in and has eaten a few holes and things, but generally, you know, I could just come in here and pick like twice a week really. These are my little tumbling toms, and they stayed out as well, so yeah, they actually have made a bit of growth. Got some flowers coming on them as well, so it won't be long. And I suppose a good marker of the temperature, the overnight temperature, is just that the basil is doing okay. You know, maybe the purple isn't doing so well, and I don't know if this discoloration is sun scald, or whether that's, you know, cold scald from overnight temperatures being too cold. But you know, we are making a new leaf in the center, so we're still with it. We're still with it. I don't really want to take all these back home again, because I just know that things are going to change, and well, if the red doesn't do, the green looks like it's gonna do for it at the moment. But yeah, all of the little lettuce seedlings. This looks like a cute little thing. This red cos or romaine type thing. Various spinaches and leaves. We've got lots of leaves coming. And this is the other area where I've put these are my main onions. This is mostly Elsa Craig. They are dotted around. I've put this net. I had this net here, and I just figured, well, I'll just keep it over the top of my dwindling cauliflowers that really didn't stand a chance when I put them out there earlier on in the year. Nothing was going to stop them being slug food, unfortunately. I don't know whether they'll survive or not, but onions are standing upright, and apparently that's a good sign when they've just got their roots down after you repot them on, plant your starts in. And so yeah, they look okay. They look like they're doing okay. More along this little area here. This little sunny border has been used for quite a few things. I think I had borlotti beans here last year, so onions this year. We're just doing a bit of a rotation. It's not a science, but you know, I haven't really rotated everything. Jerusalem artichokes. I had some out of here. No one really likes them. I don't know. I like them, and one child likes them, but we've got them contained in this area here. And they're quite a spectacular plant with a nice big flower. So it looks like a bamboo forest when it comes up. It was really pretty tall. And it's a good source of food, you know, a good source of starchy food. But I guess I just need to learn how to cook it a bit better and make it tasty and more palatable so that everybody enjoys it a bit more. But for now, it can stay, and we'll try and be a bit more versatile. It's not a massive day today because I've just got a short space of time this afternoon. But I'm going to take a couple of the smaller pots that I have that really do need potting on, like these smaller ones. I'm just going to mix them up into, I mean, I have got quite a few of these kind of rose type pots, you know, the deeper ones, which I find are really good, and you have quite a long space in there, like a couple of months in there before you really have to put them onto the final position. Some of them are already, some of the tomatoes are already in these long skinny pots because they were nice and tall, and I could bury them quite deep. So it does help to kind of bury them deep if you can, because they will root on the stems, as you probably know. So yeah, the smaller ones I'm going to pot on today. And I have to say thanks to Coastal Southwest Gardens for the tip about using the root grower, the mycorrhizal, because I didn't know how to use it. I knew it was good, but I'm going to try it this year. So he just literally took his small pot of tomato out of its pot that it's in now, and sort of dipped the roots in it, the base of it, into like a little tray or with this stuff in, and then potted it on. And so I figured, you know, that's a great way to use it. So thanks for the inspiration. You know, when you just don't quite know how to go about something and you just think, well, yeah, it sounds like a good idea, but what do you do with it? You know, do you sprinkle it around, or do you water it in? Or so I'm going to try it like that this year and see how I get on. So as I said earlier, I do have my couple of trays of celeriac that are ready to go out, and these little cells are they're great for smaller plants, but I wanted to grow these on a little bit, but they are a bit root bound now. I mean, they've had some water from the bottom, but it's yeah, they've got a little bit too root bound, and I've made a quick decision to plant them in this border here. It's nice open sunny border. At the back here I will just put 2 rows down, then they'll be out of the way because they will be in the ground for quite a long time, and they won't interfere with anything that I'm going to plant along the front, which will probably be salady things and chardy things, leafy things that I can pick quite regularly. And this, so yeah, I'll just plant this up and probably throw a net over them. So I'll come back in a moment. And there we have it. As you can see, I've just put 3 rows in. They're a little bit close together. Well, some of them are further apart. About the, I say, the hilt of the dibber, and that's what I've used as a measure, really. So whatever that is, it seemed like it was further away than last year, and they did quite well. So just made a hole with the dibber and popped them in. And those little cells, they'll just take off now. So celeriac done, job 1 done. It's time to have a little pick. I haven't really got time today, so, but there are things that just suddenly, you know, it's warming up a bit when you're out of the wind, at least. No sign of frost. We've got some kale and some lettuce, and although these lettuce leaves don't look very big, a bit here and a bit there amounts to quite a bit. A few bits of chard to pick, a few spinach leaves here to pick, and the turnips are coming on okay. They're doing suddenly alright, much better than last year actually. This is a sunnier spot and I planted them a bit later, so yeah, they should be they're coming on anyway. Hopefully it's the little white round ones. We'll have some of those. The peas, fennel and peas doing okay. They need tying in. They need something to climb up anyway. I'm going to plant some. I've just wet the soil here and I'm going to plant some rocket and some more radishes. These little white radishes have been quite slow to get going, but now they are finally sort of taking off. And I had one the other day, see a few leaves here and there, and they're quite good. I'm not really a radish fan really, but they're quite good. Grow them from my mum. The pak choy, I'd say the pak choy is ready to pick. You know, it has got a few holes in it, but it's looking pretty good now. Bit of red, and I like to just cut these off at the base and just, you know, whack them in the pan. Bit of nice sesame oil and a bit of sauce. Oh, here's a bigger one. There's a bigger radish. I mean, these ones look like they're ready to pick now. It's a bit underneath the ground, so they weren't taking that long, a couple of weeks. So I see a few more as well through there. There's a couple of more just behind there, so we'll have a little pull of radishes as well. So I found a home for all the tomatoes, potted them all on, so they will really take off now. We're kind of going to run out of space in here because this is kind of my potting table, but then I'll have to do away with this and the plants will take over eventually. But maybe it will be a bit warmer enough to do things outside. It's not looking too great at the moment, although the rain has brought some milder weather and the wind has gone. So the 2 bonuses, you can't have it all, I guess. So as you might notice, this video is a bit all over the place. It's now Friday afternoon, the 4th of May. We've come through a kind of cold phase and back into a warm phase. So now, like, I've actually left my peppers and chilies and out in the greenhouses all overnight. I'm going to Mallorca, and I just thought, right, they've got to stay out now because I'm bringing them in and out. It's too much work for my parents to look after everything, and so sort of a relief. I mean, I am still bringing in my aubergines and my courgettes and cucumbers. That's it, yeah, because they really do not like the cold. And last night was a little bit cold, like Thursday night was a little bit cold here, and it's not that great today, but in behind the glass actually everything is very happy. It's sort of 20 degrees behind the glass, so no problem there. What's happening here is, so I've got this like little cold frame, adjustable cold frame that my dad has made, really very soily, because he does a lot of digging. You know, he thrashes the soil within an inch of its life, and it gets very dried out, but it's quite fine. So what I'm going to do, my leeks are looking, you know, some of them did come up, but then they kind of like failed a bit. I think there was more germination than actually this in the beginning. I don't know, maybe I bashed them with some heavy watering. But we've got winner and elephant and oarsman in here. And if elephant is in the middle, then they have done okay. And if oarsman, if that's in order of that ticket, then winner are not such a winner, and elephant are fine, and then this oarsman are doing okay. So I'm literally going to pop them in here and let them grow on a bit, because like I say, they keep drying out in this tray and I don't want to leave my parents with too much to do. So back in a sec. So what I have seen done before is just to make a little rill and have some loose soil, not too deep, and then just lay the seedlings on their side, you know, like this even, and just close the soil around them, but don't bury them too deep, and then just water them in, and they should stand up. So that seems like the easiest way. You can't make individual holes for each one, or I don't want to just plant the whole chunk in either. That may work, but I'm just going to try it this way, just thinning them out a little bit and just lying them on their side throughout the channel, and just easily covering them over, and then I'm just going to water them in, see what happens. So the other little job we have today is to pot on these plant out rather these coriander. This is second time lucky, because I did plant some earlier on in the year, and although they were ready at home, you can see these ones are well ready. Look, they've got a nice root system, they're really strong individual little cells, and they are pretty much, you know, I need to get them in the ground, so again, it's not too much looking after. Now we have this bed here, it does get a bit of shade, so we like it. Things haven't done too badly in here, but you know, we have had some slug damage and probably flea beetle damage, but these are really susceptible to it anyway. It doesn't really affect the bulb underneath once it gets going, if the leaf span is big enough. You can see I've just let all my slug traps completely dry out, so I'll take all those out. So I'm just going to have a tidy up in here. I'm going to pick all this pak choy before I go. I think, you know, it's looking pretty good. I think it's looking pretty good, because if I leave these in here, when I come back they would have probably gone to seed. So but I will start anyway. I'll start with that area that I've got there. I've just pulled all my mustard plants out of there. Definitely can pick a few more of these little radish. You can see I've grown these different type of radish this year. It's kind of a stocky white one, and they're actually really good. I mean, I quite like them just with a bit of salt, and I'm not a massive fan of radish. That one I'll leave grow on a bit more. that one I'll leave grow on a bit more. I've got a few at home as well, so just have a quick look around to see if there's any more that need to come out of here. So we're having a few holes. That one I can leave in for a little bit longer. So yeah, we have a few. I mean, that's plenty of space for all the sluggies to hide in here, isn't there? And there's a fat one there, look. There's two fat ones there. How did I miss them? Okay, you're going straight into the beer in a second. They're not going to run away, are they? Let's have a quick look. A quick more slug hunt in here. It's just quite a lot planted close together, so I guess it's just been wet again and they've got a bit of space to hide in here. Yeah, we need to get rid of those because they will just munch down my beautiful fresh looking coriander. Will be a banquet for them tonight.